Hello, everyone. Today I want us to talk about why confidence is overrated. We think we need to feel confident before we do anything. And so we don't even begin because we don't feel confident. We are not prepared. We don't feel like we are good enough. So we don't even start taking action, going after the things that we want, going after the dreams that we have. So confidence is really a myth in terms of being able to depend on it to help you make things happen. And we think that we need to feel confidence before we can do anything in our life, right? And the truth is that we don't get stuck because we are unclear or because we don't know what we want. The truth is that we are just afraid to let ourselves imagine new possibilities, new things. We are afraid to want things, to desire things different to what we have in our life. And this is not about not appreciating what you already have in your life. It's about you desire things. You want to create new things in your life. You have goals and dreams for a reason because they are showing you the way, the path that you want to follow, that you should follow. And the thing is that because you don't feel good enough, ready enough, because you don't feel confident that you are capable of creating those things in your life, you don't even begin, you don't even start. That's normal, that's human, but start noticing that you don't need to feel confident, you don't need to feel prepared, and you can still take those actions. You can still start creating those things, start believing that you have the capability to create those dreams, those goals in your life. Because we are afraid that if we want things and we don't get them, then that means that we are failing and we are behind, and everyone will notice and we will be so humiliated and embarrassed because everyone will think that we are failing in life. I want you to ask yourself, what will be the worst thing that will happen if you don't get this thing that you want in life? If you try something and it doesn't go as you planned, and you don't get it, you don't get the results that you were expecting, what would be the worst things to happen? Really, honestly. Because the thing is that we forget that the other option is that you never try, that you don't fail, but you also don't succeed. You never give it a try, and you get to the end of your life, and you never knew what would have happened if you had tried. You never knew if you would have liked it, if you would have enjoyed it, if you would have accomplished it or gotten the results that you wanted, or if simply it was something for you to try because that's why you desire to do it. That's why you want that dream, that goal, just because you want the experience of it. So, what would be the worst case scenario? Honestly, that you try now and fail and know what happens when you try, or that you get to the end of your life and you have never tried, you have never given yourself the chance to experience that, and you don't know what would have happened if you had tried. Be very honest. What would be the worst case scenario for you? Because how do you really define happiness? When are you happiest? It is when you are doing things that you desire to do, you want to do, just for the enjoyment of them, for being on the process, or is because you get a specific outcome, a specific result all the time? Because for me, often, I am at the happiest when I'm in the process, when I'm in the creation space, in that space where I feel like I'm creating new things in my life. And the outcome is still not there. The results are still not there. But when I let myself be present in that process, in that journey, in those moments where I'm creating something, I'm working towards creating something, people always determine what is impossible before even trying what is possible. We always say, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do this. Not this kind of person. I'm not good at this. I'm not prepared for this. I'm not the kind of people who have these things happen in their life. And it's all self-determined. You determine that you are not capable of that. So you don't even try. You haven't tested. You don't know for sure that it will happen. You don't know how it will go, really. You haven't given it a chance, and you have already determined that it's not possible, that it won't happen. you have already assumed, because you feel that you are not worthy, that you are not deserving of that you are not the kind of person who can do that thing, who is capable of creating that life. You have already assumed and determined that those things are not possible for you. And so you don't try. That's why whenever you feel like you are holding yourself back, whenever you are the one who is blocking your own way, it's just because you are saying that you believe more in the fear that you have, in the impossibility of it happening, than you believe in the faith, in the trust, in the hope of it being a possibility in your life, or you being able to create that possibility. And many people do that. You are determining what is impossible before you even try it, before you even create something different. So understand that whenever you don't feel in the mood to do something, that doesn't mean that you have a permission slip not to do it. Whenever you feel like you are not prepared for something, or that you are scared, afraid to try, that doesn't mean that you should allow yourself to simply not do it. Because what matters most to you is fulfilling your goals, fulfilling the things that you know you want to try, being accountable to yourself, or being afraid of what other people will think about you, being afraid of trying and failing. Really, what matters most to you? Because all those restrictions that we constantly have in our head that keep us from trying, all the things that we say to ourselves, oh, I don't know how I will create this. And we focus on the process and the how and the probability of this happening, and that we have to be realistic, right? You don't know if you can or cannot do something until you at least give it a chance. Just because you are afraid doesn't mean that it gives you a permission slip not to do it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't even try it. When you are afraid of something, you have to decide, do I have more faith? Do I have more trust? Do I have more hope for this possibility happening than I do of being afraid of it, of fearing it, that it won't happen? Do I have more fear than I do hope? Because really is that you have to start believing that is possible for you. You have to start trusting in that. You have to start creating a space in your life for hope, for faith, in that possibility that more things can become true for you, that you can create those things in your life. And whenever you are holding yourself back, that means that you are leaning more into the fear. You are leaning more into thinking that you are not capable than you are leaning into the hope, into the trust. So why? Ask yourself this, why I am so afraid of things not working out? Because if things don't work out, if you try and they don't work out, what will happen really? Like, what is the fear there? If you give the thing that you want, the business, the project, the hobby, the relationship, the move, the city, the profession, if you give that thing that you want a real chance, and that means that you really take action on it consistently for a extended period of time, and you really commit to it, to the process. If it doesn't work out how you were expecting it, how you initially thinking it will, what would be the worst thing to happen? Because what if it does? What if it does work out and you never gave yourself the chance to try it because you were so scared of it not working out? So the fear really never goes away. The fear doesn't ever go away until you do it, until you start waiting to start feeling afraid, because it won't happen. It won't happen until you start taking action, until you start creating that evidence of that identity, of who you can be, of the things that you can create. The truth is this: happiness is not searching to be happy. It's in the moment, it's in the process, it's in the journey for everything. And all those things that you want to create in your life, you find that happiness, that joy in the process of creating it, in the process of working towards there, in the process of giving yourself the permission, allowing yourself to try those things, to get yourself in the journey of it. How can you create, how can you build a life of meaning? Because it's really not about having it all figured out. It's never about knowing how the things is going to become a reality. It's about allowing yourself to create the space, to take the actions, to believe that you can create those things in your life and that you can create action every day, micro actions every day to start creating those things in your life. But you have to allow yourself, really, like give yourself that permission to start believing that, to start believing the possibilities, to start taking the small actions daily, and to start trusting that all those actions will compound to create the big things, the big change that you want in your life. If you are able to imagine a life of abundance, of freedoms, then that means that you are assuming that you are capable of creating that you are capable of creating a life that is full of joy and beauty and freedom and joy and abundance of love. One of the most extraordinary things that we all have is the capacity to believe, to trust in something that we cannot see. When we say faith and fear, they both require the same thing. They both require you for you to see something that is not there yet. So which one do you choose? Do you choose faith and choose to believe that there are bigger possibilities for your life, even when you cannot see them completely yet? But you choose to believe that you can create them daily with daily micro actions, but like you can create them. Or do you choose to believe in fear and that there are too many things that are impossible, that you are not capable of that you are not the kind of person who does that? Where do you lean? Because that's a choice. That's a decision that we have to make daily. Do I lean into faith, into trust, into hope? Or do I lean into the fear, into the scarcity, into the lack that things are not possible, that I am not ready for that I cannot do that? Imagine, really picture, because everything begins with that belief, that state of trusting that things can happen and trusting that you can make them happen, that having the willingness to work for creating those things in your life without opening up to that question of which one do I lean, which one do I decide to lean into, without opening yourself to that, without giving yourself the permission to dwell on possibility, to lean into the faith, the hope. You will never be able to create new things. Those things that you want to manifest in your life, they will never be if you don't believe that they are first just a possibility. Start asking yourself about the how, the process, how I'm going to get there, and start believing that you can, that you have all that you need to create that life that you want, or to create those goals, to accomplish those goals that you have, to create those dreams, to design a life that you love. Because we are always waiting for things to happen. We are always waiting for us to feel ready. We are waiting for the opportunities to arrive, for people to come tell us that we are allowed to do something. We are waiting often, and we are stuck in that passivity in our life. Instead of saying, I'm going to create the opportunities, I'm going to create the permission, I am going to allow myself to want this, to desire these things, and to start walking towards there, to start taking actions that align with that I want, with that health that I want, with that relationship that I want, with that job that I want, with that business that I want. Start creating those habits, those actions, those beliefs that align with creating that you want. Because there is never a certainty of anything. I cannot say that you will accomplish all your goals and that you will make all your dreams a reality. But I can say this for sure. if you try, you have many more chances of making things happen in your life and manifesting what you want in your life than if you don't try at all. We will never know for sure what our results, our outcomes are going to be, but I know for sure that if you try, you have a lot more chances of creating and making the things that you want happen in your life happen, and manifesting the things that you want to manifest in your life, because you are involving yourself in the process instead of waiting for things to happen to you, waiting for someone to give you the permission, waiting for the opportunity to arrive. You are going out there and you're making it happen. You are creating those opportunities. You are going after the things that you want. You are putting yourself out there. So I want with this episode for you to know this. Confidence is overrated. Waiting is overrated. Feeling ready is overrated. You have to start taking action. You have to start doing the thing first. And then that confidence that you want, those results that you want, they start showing up. But the first step is to start taking action. Because at the very least, I promise you will learn something about yourself. And isn't that the greatest gift that we also can give ourselves? Really give yourself the chance, because what you don't want is to live a life that feel like you didn't give it your all. Like you get to the end of it and you never knew what would have happened if you had given it a chance, if you had given it your best try. So if this is not now, if you don't do it now, when? If not now, when? So give it your best. Give it the chance that you can. And know that it's scary. It's normal to feel scared. It's normal to be afraid. But instead, when you are feeling that fear of taking action, of putting yourself out there, of doing something different, of trying something that feels impossible, remind yourself that you can also lean into the possibility, into the trust, into the hope. You can choose and decide to lean into that. So choose to lean into the faith and the possibility. If not now, when?